To the dear parents and grandparents and families of all of the soldiers who are serving and who this video will go to. You know we're all hugging you and praying. I'm speaking to you from Yerushalayim Kodesh. No one can tell anyone how to feel, but we can all be there for each other. There's a great rabbi here in Eretz Yisrael. His name is Reb Shlomo Yehuda Be'eri. They nickname him the Yanuka because he's a very young rabbi and he's a very, very special, big tzaddik. Very, very special. And he's given some advice to all of us on how to stay calm and reach our inner core to be able to get through this time until the Geula, until the redemption, which is very, very, very soon to be. So I'm going to tell you the things that he says, and I hope that it will help you. First of all, he has 4 pieces of advice. The first piece of advice is go outside. When you're feeling nervous, go to the window, breathe fresh air. Now he's a very great rabbi and he's saying very, very simple, easy things, but behind his instructions are very deep intentions, which I don't know, but I'm just sharing with you. Go to the window, go outside. Number 1. Number 2, look up at the sky. Keep your eyes up to the sky. Keep looking upward. Don't look downward. Now that's figurative and it's also spiritual. Looking up is davening, is praying to Hashem, remembering that there's something much greater than we are, and praying, looking up. Looking up is also about being optimistic and positive and literally living in the time of the redemption, living with your children back home with you, living in the happiness, living it in the present, even though your kids might be, wherever they are, they should be safe and protected and well. The third thing he says is to inhale fragrances, fragrance spices, fragrances. Like Saturday night, Motzei Shabbos, when we make Havdalah, the separation between the Shabbos and the week, we make the blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem, with God's name, Elokeinu Melech Haolam, Borei Minei Besamim. And we inhale fragrant spices, we inhale cloves or cinnamon or whatever you inhale. It reinforces and reinvigorates and strengthens actually the soul. You know that in the story in the book of Bereshis with Adam and Eve and the eating of that tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is a very, very metaphysical story. It has nothing to do with physicality at all. But in that story, the sense of fragrance, of smell, of inhaling was not in any way contaminated. And so the sense of fragrance, of smelling, of inhaling is a spiritual sense. So he says, go out and collect whatever inhales. What I have in front of me, this is what we have here in Yerushalayim Kodesh. I don't exactly know what it is. I think it's a lemongrass or rosemary. And so you can get any of whatever fragrances you like and make the proper blessing beforehand. If you get fragrances from plants that have a hard stem like this, and the blessing is Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Borei Atzei Besamim, that Hashem has made fragrance-smelling trees. And if you have soft, fragrance-smelling leaves like parsley or anything like that, you can make the bracha Borei Isvei Besamim, that Hashem makes aseh, grasses that smell fragrance. And if you inhale perfume or essential oils, borei or cinnamon or any of those spices, borei minei besamim. That's the third advice that he gives. And he says, do it twice a day, morning and in evening, and or whenever you feel stressed. And do it on his shoulders, meaning say, the rabbi called the Yanuka in Eretz Yisrael has given this advice. I'm doing it on his responsibility. And the fourth thing he says is that there are, of course, we're saying Tehillim day and night, right? We have Tehillim going on 24/7 all over the world, because that's why, it's good that in Australia you have a different time zone. When we're sleeping, Australia is praying, etc. So he says there are 4 psukim that encapsulate prayer for the Geula. 4 psukim. I'm going to tell you where they are, and then I'll show you a copy of them. The first pasuk that you could say is from Tehillim, chapter 25, verse 18. The verse says, Re'ei ani va'amali v'salachol chatotai. You could look it up in Tehillim, and I'll show you a copy of it in a second. The second verse that you say is also from Tehillim, chapter 25, verse 15. Einai tamid el Hashem, ki hu yotzi mereshes raglai. The third verse that you say is from Tehillim also, chapter 38, verse 23. Chusha le'ezrasi Hashem tishuvasi. And the fourth and the final one that you say is from Bereshis, from the Chumash, which is what Yaakov Avinu said next week's parsha when he talked about praying for Mashiach. In Bereshis, Perek 49, chapter 49, verse 18. Here I'm going to show it to you, and you could replay this video, and you could just read it from the video. I have a copy of it like this, so you see. There's the first pasuk. There are the psukim. They're written in a little bit of a different order, but you could say them in whatever order you want. The final pasuk is the Mishuatcha Kiviti Hashem. Can you see that? I hope it's clear. These are the psukim. You can write them down. Say these 4 psukim. That's the advice he gives to calm down, to stay tranquil, and to stay tranquil. God should bless you and keep you strong and healthy and well, and your children should come back to you safe and sound.